In what appears to be an endorsement for a proposal to review the Constitution, President Uhuru Kenyatta says the supreme law must constantly adjust to the country's emerging realities. In his 11th address to the COVID-19 pandemic, President Kenyatta challenged the country to seize the moment and create a constitutional order that will stand the test of time. His calls coming as the country awaits to learn of the final details of a report by the Building Bridges Initiative Steering Committee that is set for submission to the President.
Wave it to all of us as the fanfare is being played.
A decade ago in the year 2010. Thousands of Kenyans will congregate at the historic Uhuru Park in the country's capital, Nairobi, for the promulgation of the new constitution. The elaborate celebrations heralding a new dawn for a country whose proponents of the new constitution order had struggled for years to realize. 10 years after its promulgation, calls to have it amended have characterized the political landscape, with those in support of the plan saying it was the best bet yet for the rebirth of a country that has faced its fair share of ethnic mistrust. An initiative dubbed the Building Bridges Initiative had gained currency, with the coronavirus pandemic appearing to have slowed its march towards a referendum, with a team that was meant to present its report by June 30th on statutory or constitutional changes necessary for the implementation of the BBI report, forced to postpone its submission to the President. The team had been constituted by President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga following the historic March 2018 handshake, and given a 9-point agenda to propose how to address issues of national concern. In his 11th address on the COVID-19 pandemic, President Kenyatta will give the clearest hint yet that he was prepared to oversee constitutional amendments before his term expires.
But the crafters of this social contract also told us and reminded us that a constitution was a work in progress. And as such, we were made to adopt it with a promise that in the future we will make it better. 10 years later, the moment to improve on it, I believe, is now.
The president saying that the country must treat a constitution as a living document that must constantly adjust to emerging realities, a departure from the past where constitutions have been designed to dodge confrontation in civil conflict.
We must not, as a people, succumb to the paralysis of constitutional rigidity. We must treat a constitution as a living being, as a living document that must constantly adjust to our emerging realities.
The head of state saying that the country must not go for the populist path, but choose the bold path that will ensure sustained peace and security, as well as shared economic prosperity.
After one of the most progressive constitutions, I believe the moment calls on us to do better. Instead of a ceasefire document that enforces a zero-sum game in which winner takes all and loser is expected to accept, the moment calls us to a new time. And on this, I want to emphasize to all of us that we must not go down a path of populism today, but let us choose a bold path, a path that will assure each and every Kenyan, regardless of where they come from, their social background, their ethnic background, their religious background, assure every Kenyan of sustained peace, security, and shared economic responsibility.
The president's assertion coming amid divergent opinion ahead of the country's 10-year celebrations since it promulgated a new constitution. The National Churches of Kenya Dialogue Reference Group calling on all arms of the government to step up to their responsibilities and adhere to the constitution.
We call all members of parliament to end their perpetual partisan and ethnocentric bickering and execute their constitutional mandate of oversighting national revenue and its expenditure. For once, rise up and protect the lives and interests of Kenyans as it is required by your Article 94.
And we believe there are some areas that require some policies to be changed, some laws to be changed, and some amendments, including amendments to the Constitution.
10 years down the line since the promulgation of the Constitution, what are the gains and the losses, or the gaps that slow down development? The main questions that arise from this are: should we continue implementing the current Constitution, have a total overhaul of the Constitution, or change bits of the Constitution? For Channel 1 News, I'm Serafina Robbie.